And we are live. What's up, everybody? AJ here from AJ's Collectibles, back winner at TCI, the Collector Interviews episode. This is episode 14, featuring the one and only What's Poppin' and OG Geek man, Seth and Mike. Like, what can I say? I'm just like real honored to have these guys on here. I have been watching the videos for 2 years when I first started collecting Funko Pops, and what can I say? Like, it's just a huge honor to get to know them more and interview them, and it's gonna be another great, amazing episode, and I can't wait to get to know more. Would you like to say something, guys?
Sure. What's poppin', everybody?
I don't have a catchphrase, so the same thing I said last live stream. I'm just gonna say hi. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
man. We appreciate you having us on and hanging out and chatting with you and having some fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate taking time out of your day, your night to be on here with me, and I really appreciate that a lot.
No, of course, man. I mean, listen, this is what we do. This is why we do YouTube. It's not to be famous or not to make money or anything. It's to interact with other collectors and other people who share the same interests and hobbies as we do.
Definitely not to make money.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, before we get started, make sure if you guys haven't followed them or subscribed to them, make sure you do. The links, the channels, their Instagrams are in the description below, so make sure you subscribe to him. Make sure you go follow him. Follow them, all that good stuff. So let's begin. Before you guys started collecting, collecting Funkos, statues, and everything, before you guys got into collecting game, what kind of persons were you? Like, did you know each other from before? And then I don't know, we just decided, I want to collect because it's from all of this is from our childhoods and everything.
I'll let this guy answer that question because that's more geared towards him. But it is a great story. So go ahead and tell your story, buddy.
What, have we met before the collecting? Or?
No, we've never met before collecting. We never met before.
The way that we met was because of his YouTube channel. So I didn't collect Funko Pops, any toys at all. I did have hobbies, but I was more into cars and other things. And then one day, my son Mikey, he's watching one of his videos, and I'm walking from my bedroom to the kitchen. I hear his catchphrase. I hear, "What's poppin'?" And I'm like, "What the heck is that?" So then I go back to my room. I come back out. Maybe like 10 minutes later, I think he's watching another one of his videos, and I hear it again. "What's poppin'?" I had to ask him, "What the heck are you watching? What is that?" It's so annoying. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. So he tells me, no, he collects these Funko Pop things, this and that. So I started watching a little bit with him, and my son asked me, can we buy some? I'm like, no problem. I took him out, and I think we went to a GameStop because I didn't know they sold them everywhere. Even though I used to go to Walmart all the time, but I never noticed them until I started collecting them. So I started buying them for my kids, and one day we're at a Target, and I see one that I like. My first pop was Al Bundy from Married with Children, yes. Target exclusive. So I saw that. I'm like, oh man, I used to love this show. So I bought that pop for that reason. It was sentimental. And then that pop turned into, I wanted to buy the whole Married with Children's. And after that, it just escalated until now I had about 780 pops. Now I'm down to 680. I've been cutting down a little bit. So I started doing when I first started YouTube, it wasn't about toy collecting. It was more about finances because that's something I've always been into, currency, precious metals, business. So I was going to do, my YouTube channel was going to be helping people on how to start a business, how to fix your credits, how to be, just finances in general. And I don't know, I got kind of sick of it pretty quick. I just didn't want to pursue it any longer. So my son's like, well, why don't we film? Because I started taking them, very often to buy pops. I didn't know it was called pop hunting at the time. We're just going to go buy pops. So they'll buy like 10, 5 each, whatever. I have 3 kids, so that's 15. And they're like, oh, why don't we film next time we go and put that on your YouTube channel? So I'm like, all right. I did it for them. I'm like, okay, it would be fun to do it. I started doing it. I started enjoying it. Editing and doing the videos became part of the hobby. So maybe I don't know, a few months, 3 to 4 months into that, I actually reached out to him. I had met a friend of his, Enrique. That's his real name, right?
Yeah.
Sergeant Funko. I had met him before, and I reached out to him. I found out he lived like 2 hours from me, so he replies, "Yeah, come by, whatever." We set a date to meet, hang out, and I was gonna film for my channel. I didn't think it was gonna be anything else from that. I thought we were just gonna meet, we're gonna film a little bit, and then that's about it. And then here we are, over a year later, and now we're like best friends. We see each other almost every weekend. We talk every day, and it all started because of that, because of his YouTube channel, basically.
And he likes turtle dick.
And yes.
Oh man,
A lot of his viewers are not gonna understand what that is, right?
That's fine. That's fine. It's okay. That's okay.
But that's how our friendship became to be. I just reached out to him on Instagram. Like a lot of people reach out to me nowadays, and I've made many friends the same way. So that's what I love about this community. It's very close. Everybody's really nice. Nobody has, at least not that nobody I've met has like a big ego where they're just like, oh, I don't want to, that's it. And then from Funko, it evolved into Marvel Legends and Black Series. And because I love movies. My biggest thing is not so much like comic books when I was growing up, or even cartoons. I was always into movies, even as a child. So when I saw like they had the Back to the Future pops, when I saw they had Ghostbusters, like I had to have that. And then I like obviously all the Marvel movies, and I saw the Marvel Legends had the MCU, the movie characters, not the comic book characters. That's why I started collecting those, and then next thing you know, it just evolves into a huge collection of everything, pretty much. What about you?
I mean, as far as I go, what got me into collecting was actually my wife. So for father, I've always been a huge WWE fan. Wrestling's my jam. So my wife one year for Father's Day bought me a Hulk Hogan pop, because I'm a huge Hulk Hogan guy. So she hands me this, and I'm like, man, this thing is freaking awesome. I'm like, this is really cool. I'm like, I look on the back of the box, I see all the other characters that are in the wave, and I'm like, that is really freaking awesome. So I started doing my research, and I started buying pops, and then from WWE, it went into Marvel, it went into Batman, and then 700 and something pops later, there I was, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, and then I started to, scale back a little bit on the pops. I like cut my collection down, because, and that's the one thing when people start collecting pops in the beginning, everyone's just buying. And then eventually you hit that wall and you're like, okay, how about I just narrow it down to just what I like? And that's what I did. I hit that wall. I narrowed it down to what I like. So I cut my collection basically in half, and I stuck with that for the longest time. And then as of recently, I'm starting to move away from Funko now and getting more into the figures, the Marvel Legends, the Hot Toys, some statues, because I feel you can do more with the figures than you can with the pops. I mean, a pop, you can basically either take it out of the box and put it on the shelf, or you can keep it in the box and put it on the shelf. At least with the figures, you can pull them out, you can pose them, you can create scenes with them. They could tell a story, and to me, it's more fun, to play with the figures than to just stare at a box.
Right. Now, speaking about that, do you guys think Funko is getting stale? Because like I'm with you guys. I'm looking to cutting down Funko Pops myself, because like I'm getting close to like half of 500, and I'm just like, I kind of want to just use the rest of my money to buy like other figures, like more, like I have a few more Legends myself, and I'm getting into like Nandroids and stuff like that. Do you think like the Funko game is like getting a little stale and everything?
I think it's fun. Everybody's opinion on this is a little different. As far as I feel that Funko is hitting the bottom and the bottom's about to drop out, to be honest with you. That's at least how I feel. They aren't putting it, I mean, they are putting out new stuff, but it's repurposing old molds. They keep making the same characters. I mean, how many freaking Batmans and Spider-Mans and Supermans and Ninja Turtles, you know, and you know, how, you know, all this stuff, acquire some licenses that you haven't done yet. And if they did that, I think they would keep more people interested. But right now, I think the bottom's dropping out on it. You know, what they announced for San Diego, I'm really not impressed with. I think the only thing that I even kind of liked out of it was the Brian Fantana from Anchorman, where he's holding the bottle of Sex Panther and it's scented. I think that's cool that they make a scented pop. It's funny. I mean, you know, here we got even Century, the Mad Collector. You had him on your show last week. He says Funko needs turtle dick variants and stop making the same shit. Yeah. So I mean, but they do. You know, they need to step up the game. What's your take on that?
Okay, so I'm only gonna speak about myself. Like, it's gotten stale for me, but I think yes, I hear everybody complaining about the same molds, repeating the same characters, but it's also, I think every Funko collector has the same issue that I'm having, is the abundance. Like, because of the price point, because it's so cheap, you accumulate so many so fast, right? So it's like it takes up a lot of real estate in your house, in your room. Well, it gets to the point where, like, for example, you're close to 500. So when you see those 500, it overwhelms you. You kind of don't want to buy anymore because you just feel like, what am I going to do with all this? You know what I mean? So I've gotten to the point where I haven't stopped collecting Funko. I've just slowed down. So I'm only buying stuff that I really like, that I really connect with. For example, I haven't bought a pop in, I want to say, over a month or more.
It's been a hot minute.
Now tomorrow, when we go on our hunt, I'm going to look for the Eazy-E pop, because that's something that resonates with me. That's something from my childhood. You know, I have the Ice Cube. I have the Ice Cube with the 6'4" Impala, so I have to have Eazy-E. Before, it was a thing where I would go to Target or Walmart, and I just see a pop, and just because the pop kind of looked cool, or I just kind of liked it because it's so cheap, I would buy it. And then it's taking up all this real estate in my room. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think everybody goes through that. You just get like, this is too much. You get to that point, and then you just stop, or you slow down a lot. I like Funko. I think it's a great brand. I love them. I love the business. The price point, you know, I love that a lot of people get into this hobby and feel like they're part of something. Because let's face it, all of us that collect, we all feel like we're part of this society, I guess you could call it. You know, like, we're all collectors. We all have that in common. And for that price point, anybody could do it. So that's what I like about Funko. What I don't like is that people go overboard. I haven't met one person that only buys 20 Funkos. I've never met a collector. I've never met a collector that only has 50 Funkos. You know, usually you start off right off the bat with like at least 10. And that's why I think a lot of people that get into Funko fall out of love with it. I'm positive there's people that are just now, just like me, a year and change ago, I got into Funko late. So just like I just got into Funko a year and a half ago, I'm pretty sure there's people getting into Funko now that are in love with it. They're obsessed, and they're going through the same thing that we've all done, which is buying a few hundred of them. You know, that's what I think. Anyways, I think that's the reality of it. If you have 300 Funkos, which I'm sure a lot of people have that, when you look at that many Funkos in your room and wherever you store them, that's a lot. It's overwhelming, and I think that's why people stop. You know, that's my opinion.
I mean, you know, listen, Funko is Funko. I mean, you know, when I first started collecting Funko, I always heard people are like, "Oh, Funko's the next Beanie Baby." You know, the Beanie Babies. You know, it's only a matter of time before it drop. You know, before the bottom drops out on it, and it's true. You know, I feel that Funko is turning that quarter, and the bottom on it is gonna drop, and then you're gonna have a lot of people upset that paid $150 or up for like the rare Grail pops, and then all they're really stuck with at that point is a $2 piece of plastic. you know, and that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna drop out. If not now, it will soon. I promise you that. I mean, they just laid off their whole social media team.
Yeah.
You know, they're in such a negative downward spiral right now that, you know, I feel that people are losing interest. At least that's what I feel. I mean, I had the opportunity. I went to New York Comic Con and I actually met Sully and I spoke to Sully, and he was such a cool dude. And you know, it sucks that, you know, he had to lose his job because of what happened with COVID. But, you know, again, but still, it's like, I feel like them doing that, they lost their spokesperson. Sully, to me, was their spokesperson. And now that he's gone, they don't have anybody in the forefront pushing their product right now. You know, when he used to do those product videos on YouTube on Funko's own channel, you know, that would get people hyped up about what's coming up. Now they've got nothing.
The reason I don't think that they're like Beanie Babies exactly is because of their licenses. I think that's gonna. I'm not saying. I understand what he's saying, that, you know, the prices of some of these Funko Pops might just come down from one day to the next. For some of the grails that most people are paying, like for example, Splash Mountain. It's a $65 pop until the other day, and then I've seen it for $250, $350 all of a sudden. Is that gonna last? Who knows? That thing might be worth $50 next month. So, but I don't look at this as like an investment. I don't buy Funko as like, oh, I'm gonna buy it because I know the value is gonna be there. What I like about Funko, the reason I enjoy them, I still do, even though I want to collect less of them, is because of the licenses. So, for example, I'm a big movie buff, like I just mentioned, and I have the whole set of Coming to America. When I was a kid, I remember watching that movie. I didn't understand it the first time because I was really young, but I love that movie, you know. And where can somebody that loves movies collect something from all these different movies that's not with Funko? There's nothing else for Coming to America. Even Die Hard. What can you do for Die Hard if you're a big movie buff, you know? That's why Funko is fun. You know, now I don't spend. If you watch any of my videos, you see I don't spend more than maybe $40 on a Funko. Like, I'm not the type of guy to spend $300, $500, because it's just, to me, it's not worth it. It's a piece of plastic. I mean, I prefer to buy a hot toy like he's doing now. You know, because
hot toys,
at least it displays way better. You know, it's a way nicer piece. I don't see the value of those things dropping anytime soon. I mean, a lot of those go up in value like crazy.
Well, I mean, again, but that's the thing though. Like, you know, the hot toys, yeah, they're one of those collectibles that actually retain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Value.
Before I spend $300 on a Funko Pop, I see people do it all the time, and I will never tell anybody what to do with their money.
You've seen me spend over $250 on a in person, and you gave me that look like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Exactly, because you're my, you know, you're my bud. I love you and everything, but I keep it real. That's a lot of money to spend on a Funko Pop, you know? Oh, because it's a chrome Batman. Like, dude, get the regular Batman. Batman's Batman.
Hey,
I prefer the Michael Keaton Batman that I have over any other chrome Batmans. I'm sorry, dude. And that thing cost me $8.
I love chrome. How dare you?
But look, man, as long as you're having fun collecting, it doesn't matter what you collect. It doesn't matter if Funko Pops and next year in 2021 could just all of a sudden just like die out and not be cool anymore. If you still enjoy it, keep buying them. You know, take advantage that everybody's selling off their collections for pennies and scoop them up if you like them. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, Century saying my issue was I spent a lot on the OG grails and didn't want to get stuck holding my turtle dick with Pops no longer worth much.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, like that's exactly like what I said. It's like, you know, the bottom's going to drop out and then you're going to be stuck with a $2 piece of plastic.
Even with Hot Toys, even though I believe that the value is always going to be there. It's hard to lose with a hot toy, but the reason, if you watch my channel, you see that I collect a lot of, like, you know, Marvel Legends, Black Series, stuff like that, is because for me that's worth it. The price point, it's fun to collect. I can still make nice little displays. I can still enjoy them. For me right now, and with all, you know, I have other things in life that I'm trying to accomplish, where I'm not ready to drop thousands on a hot toy. If that's what you like, by all means, do that, you know? Same thing with Funko. I would not spend $300 on a Funko Pop. I just won't. But if you really want it that bad, if it's going to make you happy, then by all means do it. Like that's the whole point. Just have fun with it, you know. He buys hot toys like it's water every time we go out. He made me his hot toy accountant, and he doesn't shit that I say.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
You see, that's exactly behind the scenes when the cameras are off. That's what he's telling me. And I tell him, dude, this is a $500 hot toy. What are you doing? But you know what? It makes him happy, and I prefer he buys that than like he was doing before, spending $300 on a Funko Pop, because you know a hot toy. If you buy okay, so I'll give you an example. My second to last video, I bought a hot toy. I spent $300 on it, but I see it going online between five. He actually showed it to me between $500 to $600. That's the reason I bought it, because I wanted it, and I know that if I didn't buy it then at that price, I was gonna spend because I was gonna buy it regardless. I was gonna spend $500 on it. Now, worst case scenario, I believe 3 years from now, I'm done with collecting in general. I just want to get rid of everything. I believe the worst case scenario, I could get $250 for my Boba Fett. You know, and I'm out $50, but I enjoyed it for 2 or 3 years. That's what I like about Hot Toys, you know. What I like about Marvel Legends is the same thing. Yeah, they're $20. They're still cheap, you know. But a lot of these Marvel Legends, I mean, I've paid $80 for a Marvel Legend. I'm sure you've done the same thing. You know?
Why you got to put me on the spot, ass?
Because everybody's done it. You know? And God forbid you want to get out of your collection, you can still get $10 for a Legend, you know, and you lost half, but you enjoyed it for so many years. With Pops, like he was saying, I believe that might happen. I believe that you're buying $300, $200 Pops. 5 years from now, it could be worth $5 very easily. There's nothing keeping the value there except for the license. That's the only thing that. But I just don't see it.
Nostalgia. Listen, when it comes to Funko, what drives the price is how much the person is willing to pay for it because of the nostalgia. If you have something that resonates with you, like prime example. Again, going back to what I'm saying, I'm a huge WWE guy. I have the pink tights CM Punk because I am a huge CM Punk fan. Now, I obviously didn't pay what it's going for now. I think now it's almost at $300, you know, but I didn't pay that for that. I actually made a trade. I gave away like 3 or 4 Pops to get that in a trade when it was at that low price point. Now, to me, I would have given anything, whatever that guy was asking for, just so I can get that, because one, you don't see that Pop come up available for trade or sale hardly ever, and two, I want it because I love CM Punk, you know, and that's where the the nostalgia and the want, you know, come in. So if that guy would have said, "Hey, you know, the Pop's $400," I would have been like, "All right, fuck it, I'll give you like $200 in cash, and I'll trade you whatever other Pops you want. That's the equivalent of $200." You know, I would have done that because when I want something, I go and get it. I don't sit and wait on it because you never know when it's going to come up again. And that's kind of like my method behind my madness too, like behind my hunts and things like that, because me and Mike go to these places and we come across stuff that, in my opinion, is something that might be a once in a lifetime find, you know, something that you'll only ever see in person once. And I live my life by that, and I've got to jump on it because I know I want it, and the odds of me coming across it again are slim to none. So that's why, you know, and that's kind of like why, like, I guess you could say lately I've been more of like an impulse buyer than a smart buyer, because I'm buying the stuff that I like because I'm afraid I'm never going to see it again, and I'm never might actually get the opportunity to see it in person.
I had one Pop. That's it, just one Pop that I was like seconds away from paying $300 for it, and that was the glow in the dark Emmett Brown, because I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, and I just wanted to have them all, and I have them all now. There's some new ones coming out. Actually, they're ready.
The new wave is coming out.
I'll get those. Those are common. I really want that. He was there at the store a few times. I was thinking about it, and it's just, I don't know.
And I'm the worst friend ever because he's like sitting there and he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to get it. I'm like, bro, just fucking buy it, okay? You come in every time and stare at it, just buy it. You'll just buy it already. Just buy. Well, you know, my wife got me. I'm like, bro. I'm like, you'll deal with your wife after the fact. I'm like, she'll live with it, okay? Just buy it.
Dude, That's a lot of money for a pop.
It's
something that sells for $8 normally at Walmart or whatever. It's like
it's final sale, no refunds. Okay, just buy it. You can't take it back. She's just gonna have to live with it.
Oh man. Now, Seth, you mentioned this a little while ago. Like, what makes you love the Chrome Pops so much?
when they're shiny.
Yeah, exactly. So when I first started collecting Pops, obviously they didn't have the Chrome Pops out yet. So the very first Chrome Pop that they put out was the blue Chrome San Diego Batman exclusive. And I remember, my buddy George at MCE, who I share the channel with, I showed that to him and I was like, bro, I need this in my life. And he's like, why do you want it so bad? I'm like, because it's different. It's something new that Funko's putting out. It's different. And, and not to say that I'm a completionist or anything, but I just love the Chrome Pops. I just like the way they look. The shine, they were clean, they were sleek, they were sexy, they were just really cool looking, and I enjoyed them. I had almost every single I had all the Chrome Batmans. They're gone now. They're not in my collection anymore. I've scaled back on my collection. But, I remember my pure excitement. When I first started collecting Pops, I actually used to play a lot of raffles. That's how I used to get a lot of my high-end grails. So I remember I won that blue Chrome Batman in a raffle for $90. And at the time it was going for like $600. At the time it was reselling for like $600. Because it was the first Chrome Pop of its kind. So I remember walking out of Target, and all of a sudden I get the alert on my phone that the raffle is starting to happen. I pick up my phone, and I'm like, stop my wife dead in her tracks. And I'm like, I got to watch this real fast. So in that raffle, there was 10 spots. I actually wound up buying one spot in the main for $60, and then I wound up winning a bunch of the minis to get more spots in the main. I had 5 out of the 10 spots. I had a 50-50 chance of getting it or losing. So I basically looked at my wife and I was like, listen, if I lose this fucking thing, I'm quitting Pops. I'm like, I'll never buy another one ever again. I'm like, I'm done. And lo and behold, they hit my number and I'm screaming in the middle of all places, the Target parking lot. And I'm like, yeah, which is what I do anyway. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, I won. My wife's like, what did you win? I'm like, I won the blue Chrome Batman. And like, I remember when I got it in, and I was holding it in my hands and just looking at it. I was like, this is just awesome. And I love that feeling. But again, I've kind of lost that feeling with Funko. I don't get the feels like I used to. Like I used to enjoy when there was a release and I would get up at 6:00 in the morning and go wait outside the store so I can go get it. I don't like doing that anymore. I don't like doing it. It's kind of lost its fun for me. Honestly, like the last time I even got up for anything Funko related was a couple of weeks ago when they released the Blacklight Pops. And the only reason I even got up for that is because I thought those things were cool. That kind of actually kind of like gave me a little bit of hope, like saying, okay, maybe Funko's going to turn the corner with these, It was something different. It was something new, Granted, yeah, there were same characters that they put out, but it was different, and it was cool. And I got up and I was able to get them, and and that was it. And I mean, I don't think I've bought a Pop in like, since then. But yeah, man. I mean, it's Funko's kind of losing its luster with me. People are asking, because I if you follow me on Instagram, people know that I've sold off a good chunk of my my collection, and people are asking me like if I'm still going to do the Funko Casino. So because people love the Funko Casino, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I'm actually doing one next week. That'll be on one of the days next week. because I know people enjoy that. It's fun. I actually enjoy doing the Funko Casino. But yeah, I think, there's going to come a time where I just say, fuck it, and I'm totally done, and I just walk away from Funko completely.
No, yeah, I feel you on that. Like, I used to be the same too. I used to wake up, early to get these early Funko Pops at Target and such. Like, I don't do it no more. Like, I mainly just get everything online. But like, even then with Funkos, like my interest is like cutting out.
Yeah, it's just I just don't feel the same way about it that I used to. The market is very oversaturated with Funko collectors, and and the funny thing is too is like where Mike lives, it's not as a competitive area as where I live. Where I live, there's way more collectors, and honestly, I'm getting tired of having to compete with people to get shit that I want. And that's kind of like another reason why I'm kind of like pushing back from Funko, because it's become like ultra competitive, and I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to fight with people to get something, and I don't want to have to deal with people reselling just to get what I want. I mean, listen, my last video that I dropped on Tuesday, I found that Batman '89 Joker chase just sitting on the shelf. I mean, that again, that's one of those things that like never happens, where you just walk into a store and a chase is just sitting there on the shelf. By the way, no chase gets left behind. But again, like I would never in a million years expect to find that. And clearly people that were just walking by it and it was just leaving it on the shelf, those people were sleeping. And people get lucky like that sometimes. But it's like I don't want to have to compete with people. I want to be able to get up to go to the store, go look around. If I see something I like, buy it. I don't want to have to sit there and fight with other people over it. It's not worth it.
No, that's true. Like you don't want to be like waking up and then like you're still tired, you're still groggy, and then like out of nowhere someone wants to start shit.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean, Mike's been with me in the early mornings, especially when we have to go to Target and get stuff, and I wind up losing my shit in the parking lot, and he hasn't even had a cup of coffee yet.
It's ready for this shit, bro.
Yeah, he's like, you're all wound up already, and he's like, it's not even 7:00 in the morning.
It's fucking Target.
Now, I always see your videos when it comes down with Target. Why do you think Target hates you?
I don't think Target hates me.
He knows.
I don't think Target hates me. I think just what it is, it's a series of unfortunate events. Obviously with Target, being a nationwide retailer, sometimes there could be distribution issues where, they don't get that exact thing, thing that's supposed to be at the store, or, it's not there on that time. I mean, we did San Diego Comic-Con last year, and the Target we went to didn't get any of their stuff in, and it gets frustrating because, like I said, you wake up in the morning really early, you wait outside the store for like 3-4 hours so you could be the first one in there to get in and get out, and then you go there and they don't have it.
Any exclusive is a pain in the butt, because like I just went on a mission trying to find the Turtle 2-pack, the NECA Turtle 2-pack. So I hit up every Walmart by where I live, which is about 5. And I just came back from a business trip. So over the weekend, I was on my way to Tennessee. So I'm between here to Tennessee. Every couple of hours, I'll take a break. I'll see a Walmart. I'll stop. I'll check. Nothing. Finally, when I got to Alabama, is when I found the Turtle 2-pack. But they only have 2 in every so far, because the one that I found had 1. But every picture that I've seen on Instagram, people finding them, they only have 2 of those Turtle 2-packs.
Nationwide in each store.
Yeah,
only got 2.
Only got 2.
Only
so that's like impossible.
Store.
If you're a Turtle fan like I am, I'm a huge Turtle fan. Like I collect almost anything that has to do with turtles.
He also collects turtle dick.
Which, by the way, Sentry sent me some stuff that is going to be in my video dropping on Tuesday, so I'm not going to spoil it. But related to turtles. So yeah, like that was crazy because I'm stopping at all these Targets, and I would say one thing: when I turned the corner and I saw it, I didn't think I was gonna find it. I was already expecting to pay 100, 150 online, and just whatever, move on with my life. But when I turned the corner and I finally found it at my 12th Walmart, it was a great feeling. But it gets you. I mean, if you're a turtle fan, like I was saying, and you really want this, like I wanted it, it sucks that you have to, because you're not only competing with collectors, you're competing with people that buy it to flip. Because most people are just two sitting there. They're not going to buy one. They're going to buy two because they know they can sell it for more money online, Mercari, eBay, what have you. So it's frustrating. So whenever he goes to Target, especially if it's an exclusive, and he really wants something, he wakes up at 5 a.m. or whatever it is to get it. He gets there, and then forget the fact that it's sold out or a flipper came in and bought everything. No, they tell you, "Oh, we just don't have them. We never got them." Like that just drives him nuts.
That's and I'm sure everyone that's in the chat and everyone that will be watching this at some point later on down the road, Target is a national conglomerate, if you want to call it that. They have X amount of thousand stores across the country. I work in a corporate environment. Okay, so I know corporate guidelines and certain things and stuff like that. So being a national retailer, you would think that on the day that they're going to release something, they would send out any type of notification from the corporate office to all the stores saying, "Hey, expect these items on this day. They need to be out in this area on the sales floor. Make sure they're there." There's no communication. There's such lack of communication between the corporate office and the retail stores. That's why when you walk up and you ask the Target employees, they don't have a fucking clue what you're looking for.
Yeah.
There's no communication.
I'm gonna need you to go over to Target next week because they're dropping which one is it? I don't know if it's the 2-pack or that robot turtle.
Oh, the mech head?
Yeah. They're dropping a whole bunch of Target exclusive turtles this month. And I know that's going to be a pain to find it. So I just need you there with me so because you already know how to curse them out. You're an expert.
Listen,
I want it done right.
Listen,
so I want you there so you can help me.
I'll drop a motherfucker. I don't give a shit.
I hate it. I hate it when I do exclusives, man. It's just the worst. When I found out that all these turtles are exclusive to Target and Walmart, I'm like, oh my god, bro.
He's like, I'm gonna need Seth. I'm gonna need backup.
It's like, don't get me wrong. It's not the fact that they're exclusive. It's the fact that they're okay. So with Funko Pops, a lot of times you get like a Target exclusive, but there's a shitload of them. It's like hundreds of them. You can find them easily. When they do an exclusive and it's so limited, that's what messes things up. Big Dub, I was watching his last YouTube video, and he actually went to like 4 Walmarts looking for the Turtle 2-packs, and he had given up on that video, and he was saying how this makes it not fun to collect. It makes you want to just give up, and it's true because trust me, every Walmart I went to, and I didn't see it, it just, takes something away from your soul little by little, dude. It's like shit. It's not.
I mean, you remember when I was looking for the worthy Captain America? I hit up 14 Walmarts for that worthy Marvel Legend, the worthy Captain America Marvel Legend before I finally found it. And when I did find it, I mean, obviously, yeah, it was the greatest feeling in the world. But it's like I really had to go to 14 Walmarts to find that fucking thing.
I honestly think Walmart is worse than Target when it comes to exclusives.
When it comes to exclusives,
because
yes, I will agree with you. Walmart is worse.
Months later, I'm talking about 5 to 6 months later, I've been to a few Walmarts and they'll have a whole peg full of them, which means they always had it. They just forgot to bring them out. They do stuff like that.
So here, like Century's saying right now, he says, I think they're going to restock Bebop and Rocksteady again in a few months, from what he understands.
Yeah, no, they are. I saw it on Neko's Instagram.
So, hey, when we're out hunting tomorrow, we got to do what Century did in his last video.
Oh my god!
We got to lift up the shelving. I
was already planning on doing that.
Yeah, lift up the shelving to see if we could find any hidden gems underneath the racks.
That was crazy,
dude. If I open that shit up, and I find a chase, you better buy it.
That was crazy. That was a good score.
Yeah, man.
That was a good video.
I mean, that box was beat to shit, but who cares? The figures were protected and they were in good condition.
And let's not even talk about it too much. Just go watch Century's channel, and you guys can see it, because that find was, if you're a Marvel Legends collector, that was a hell of a find.
Yeah, that was a hell of a find.
When it comes to Marvel Legends, do you guys know which ones you're looking for, or do you just like one day you're going to hunt and you're just browsing and you see something, you just pick it up? Like,
so,
do you know what you're looking for? Or you just pick it up and browse?
50-50.
Yeah, I will. Well, when I first started getting into Legends, yeah, I would say 50-50, but now it's like 100%. I know what I'm looking for. Because
he's lying to you.
No, I'm not, because look at all the Build-A-Figure waves I have.
If you told me I'm looking for this, this, and this, but then you find, oh, look at this, and you buy it.
Okay, but so I need but I need it for the Build-A-Figures.
But there's always something that catches your eye. Every time we go on a hunt, this is my point. We always say, all right, so today I'm kind of like, for example, tomorrow I'm pretty much going to be looking for like Black Series and a few X-Men Legends. But the truth is, that's the reason we hunt, because you never know what you're going to find. If I find something that catches my eye, or for example, we go to Tate's and they have some old legend that's like, oh my God, I can't believe they have, you're going to buy it. So why lie to them? It's 50-50. You never say, I need this one and that's all you pick up.
No,
never happens.
That's true. I'm not going to debate that. But lately,
even he could say, I only want this hot toy. And in the last video we did together, you bought how many?
2. Exactly.
He was going for Ant-Man. But he ended up with another hot toy. And that's a hot toy. Can you imagine what he's going to do with Legends tomorrow? Forget it.
But since I've been going really hard on the Legends lately and trying to get the Build-A-Figures, I've basically have been, every Marvel Legend I have come across, I've been buying it because I want all the pieces to build the Build-A-Figure.
Do you guys, or I know some people do, like, will you just end up, if you don't like any Marvel Legends, but then you're trying to buy them just to build that, to get the Build-A-Figure, like, do you guys end up doing that?
So I have figures that I've bought over the past couple of weeks that I purposely bought just for the Build-A-Figure. And it just so happened to be some of the other figures I got are for some of the stuff that I'm working here on behind me on the shelving. The ones that I'm not using, I either take those and trade them to other people for Build-A-Figure parts, or, for shits and giggles, I put it up on Mercari and I try to make a few dollars so I can buy more Marvel, more Marvel Legends.
I don't think I've ever seen a whole wave of Legends that I love every figure. Never. I usually buy the whole wave because I want to build the figure, and there's always at least 2. For example, what's his name? He's very. I recently found out a lot of people like it, and I didn't like it that much. The one with the hammer. What's his name?
Beta Ray Bill.
Yes, Beta Ray Bill. I honestly, because I didn't read a lot of the comics growing up, so I had no idea who he was. Number one. Number two, I just wasn't. I don't know. Didn't catch my eye. So, and Union Jack, for example, I didn't like that one in that wave either. But now I've seen a bunch of people doing videos. For example, your buddy, what's his name, Dave, or the one that went on the hunt with us not too long ago? Big guy.
Oh, Jeff.
He just bought that Marvel Legend in his last video. And I'm like, look at that. I would have given it to him. Yeah, when I buy a whole wave, usually it's because I really want to build a figure. It's very rare that I like every single Legend in the wave. But you have to. That's how they get you. That's how they get your money. You have to buy them all.
See, like the last wave of X-Men ones that they came out with, where it was, Nightcrawler and Beast and all those other ones. I love that wave. That wave was great. Because those were nostalgic characters. So that hit the feels with me. That's why I like that line. So I mean, but yeah, like they have the new Deadpool wave that's coming out, and it's the strong guy Build-A-Figure. there are maybe out of that entire run, there's maybe two out of those figures that I would consider keeping, and then the other ones I'll get rid of, and then I just need the Build-A-Figure parts for Strong Guy. You know, so you know, again, that's how they get you though. You know, it's like not every, you know, if you're a diehard Marvel fan, then yeah, you're gonna buy all the figures because that's your thing. You know, like I like the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure, so I definitely want that. Now I can either buy all the figures and build it myself and keep the figures that I want and then get rid of the rest, or I can go and buy the Strong Guy by himself, already pre-built off of Macari for like quadruple the price, you know. But then that takes all the fun out of it. I like opening up the boxes and putting the pieces together and all that stuff. I find enjoyment in that.
Yeah, there is something about like getting the whole wave all together, opening them up. I don't know, something about that. It's like, I don't know, man. These toy companies know what they're doing, man. They know how to get your money.
Or would you just buy the pieces on eBay or Mercari? Because I know people, they sell the arms and legs and the torsos and everything.
Yeah, but in reality, when you're thinking about it, someone's reselling a piece. Okay, so they're reselling the piece for $15. Then they're charging you another $5 for shipping. At that point, you've already spent $20. You've got the figure.
Yeah,
you know, that's at least how I look at it.
Because it's just crazy, insane how, you know, how flippers are and everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the term. So you know, this is always like an ongoing debate within the community, you know, about flipping and reselling and stuff like that. So my definition of that is, to me, a flipper is someone who wakes up early in the morning, hits all the stores, gets everything before everyone else does, and then resells it at an astronomical value. And not because they're reinvesting into the hobby, they're doing it to line their pockets, to pay their bills. That's their business. That's their business. That's their everyday job. Now, where you get people like me and Mike and possibly yourself, where we buy something, we hold on to it for a little bit, and then we're like, something else comes out that we want. You know, we take it, we look what the value is, you know, and we resell it so we can get that money and reinvest it into another collectible. And I think that's where the misconception is between someone who's reinvesting in the hobby and someone who's actually flipping to make a living.
Right.
Yeah, I have nothing against like I'm not gonna lie, I know it's like it sucks because like I said, what I just went through with the turtles, it sucks. I have nothing against people making a live. Like, hey, I'm a hustler, so the way you make your money, man, make your money. I'm never gonna tell people don't make your money. You know, it does suck when you want something and a flipper got there before you, but that's exactly why we hunt. That's why we're on top of things. Like, look, I want this. For example, the turtles. I know I forgot which one's coming out, but I do know the dates. It's the 16th and the 23rd. So I'm gonna be there early to make sure I get what I want before the flippers get there. That's the thrill of it for me, you know. As far as people selling stuff from their collection, I've seen that on social media a lot, man. People post stuff for sale and they're like, "Oh, but you know, I thought you were a collector." And this and like, dude, if you get tired of something, sell it, you know, and buy something else with it. Like, I don't sell because I hate shipping. I was talking about this in the other live stream. I hate shipping. I'm lazy for that stuff, you know. So it's like, but I have to start selling some stuff or doing something with it because I have too much stuff. But there's nothing wrong with you. Let's say, even with pops, let's go back to the pops. You bought a pop back in the days for $20, an exclusive, and today it's worth $150. And you decide, you know what? I want to buy a wave of legends, but you don't want to spend your money. You want to sell that pop for $150 to buy that wave. There's nothing wrong with that, dude. If that's what it's going for $150. Sell it for $150. It's your pop. Who's gonna, you know, who am I to tell you what to do with your pop?
I mean, again,
that's not a flipper. That's just somebody reinvesting their money into their collection.
Yeah, that's like I said, like reinvesting into the hobby, you know, and that's what I did. I literally sold off about 75% of my Funko collection, and I've been reinvesting that in
the hot
Marvel
toys.
Legends and hot toys.
I can't say like them.
Yeah, you know, I've been reinvesting in that. Now, I'm not making, you know, I'm not lining my pockets and paying my bills and all that other shit, you know, like a normal flipper would do, because they've got to eat and they've got to live. I'm investing into the hobby. Listen, I make a very comfortable living. Okay, I don't have to resell this stuff, but it's kind of like what Mike says. It becomes like a space issue at some point, you know, and like shit. Like it's even to the point where I have a storage unit just for a lot of my collectibles because I can't fit everything in my house, you know. So there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna be like, okay, I want to get rid of this hot toy so I can get a statue. I mean, again, it's just reinvesting into the hobby, and I think that there's a you know, there's a gray area when it comes to reselling and flipping. And I think as long as you're buying and then you're reinvesting in the hobby and all that other stuff, that's one thing. But if you're just buying and selling just to make a living, then yeah, bro, you're a fucking flipper.
And again, if you're a flipper, bro. Whatever. Just be honest about it. You know what I don't like? To be honest, what I don't like is when you know someone's a flipper and they deny it. Like, dude, if you're hustling, listen, if you find somebody online on social media that tell you I sold them, like I've sold maybe like 5 things, except for the mystery boxes that we did at the con. But I've sold like recently, I think like 2 or 3 months ago, I sold because I have 2 of them. I sold Gladiator Hulk, the Build-A-Figure, because I have 2 Build-A-Figures and I have the Diamond Select one. That's the only reason I sold it. But other than that, I want to sell. I want to sell stuff. You know,
you want to buy hot toys.
I just don't like when people, you know, like they're not into collecting. They're not really part of the community. They're just buying stuff because they want to make a buck. Like, just be honest with me. I still want what you have. I'm still gonna buy it. Just don't lie to me. You know, like don't make small talk. Like, oh yeah, because I collect this and that, and
but
don't collect shit.
Hold on a second, Humpty's in the chat. But if they are selling for the same price, what's the difference?
Oh, if they're selling for the same price, then thank you. But nobody does that.
Yeah, nobody does. Nobody does that. Listen, there is nobody in this world that has ever bought something at retail and resold it at retail.
All right. For example, back to the turtles. Right. Go ahead. I know you want to say it.
I like that.
Okay, you got that out of the system. The turtle 2-pack that I've been going crazy for all week trying to find. I finally found it. I'm happy. I only paid $50 for it. I was this close because everybody that finds them is putting them online for $100, $150. I was this close to paying that $100, $150 because I really wanted it. I don't care if I have to pay more for it because it's either I don't get it or I overpay for it. That's my only 2 options before I found it at Walmart. My point is that if you're a collector, you buy it, you decide, you know what, I don't want it, but you see that it's selling for $100, $150. Why would you sell it for $50? Why would you sell it for? It's yours, dude. You bought it. Sell it. I'm not gonna sell something that's worth $300 for $10. Talking about Funko, because that was the original price. Like, no, it's $300. Why should I sell it for less than that? Like, I'm not against people making their money, bro. Make your money. Just don't lie about it. Don't be on these groups. I be on some of these Facebook groups, and you see the people posting the stuff, and you could tell they're flippers. They're not collectors. They even on Instagram, you see them post. What was the McFarlane, the Spawn figure?
Oh, the Spawn figure.
When it came out, there was this guy, he had like 10 of them. He just posted some pictures of all 10. Obviously, he's not collecting that. He's going to flip them, you know? And as long as he's honest about it, I don't care.
Yeah, I fucking hate people who do that, dude. I mean, I get it.
He found them before us. He's a better hunter than we are.
Yeah, I hate people who fucking post a picture of like the one thing that I'm looking for, and they've got like 6 or 7 of them. And it's like, you motherfucker, it's like, you couldn't just leave one on the shelf for me?
Exactly.
Like, I don't care. Like I said, do whatever you want. You just couldn't leave one on the shelf for me. You had to fucking buy all of them.
The reason I do YouTube, the reason I hunt is because of flippers. I think if it was like very easy to find this stuff, it'll be boring. Because there's no chase. There's no thrill of getting it. Like, whenever something's really hot, like these turtles, and I find it, I feel better about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird to describe it. But I say that because I find it. If I don't find it, then I feel another type of way. But I don't know, bro. This discussion has been going on since I've been a collector a year and a half now. Almost 2 years, let's say. This discussion's always been going on. I hear a lot of other YouTube channels talk about this, about flippers and this and that. And like, dude, I just don't care. Make your money. However, like you got bills to pay, make your money, man.
Well, see, like Century's saying right here, he goes, "Let the hobby fund itself as much as you can."
Yeah, that's
that's basically hitting the nail right on the head.
That too. Right. I know people get mad at flippers. I know that, but they're rapists. But I don't get mad, dude. Honestly, if I wasn't a collector and I found out back, like I said, I'm a hustler. If I would have found out 2 years ago you can make money flipping Marvel Legends before I was a collector, I probably would have been doing it, and you guys would have been hating me.
You would have been my plastic dealer.
But to me, it's just not worth it, you know. Like he says, we both make a very good living. We do this for fun. It's just not worth it for me to make $10 on a figure or whatever.
I'm not in this. I'm not.
I would pay somebody the 10 or $20 to not have to drive to just keep it, bro. I don't want to drive to the post office and ship it. Just take it.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about getting sponsors on my channel or any of that other bullshit. You know, I do this for.
Keep saying turtle dick on your channel. You're never gonna get sponsored.
Yeah. I do this to solely connect with other people because I'm a people person and I enjoy talking with other people. You know, finding out what their habits, collecting habits are, and the things they're interested in. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for almost 3 years, and the people that have come in and out of my life and the people I've met were just absolutely amazing, and it's been a pleasure. And again, never in a million years would I thought that I'd be sitting next to one of my closest friends. After only meeting almost over a year. What are you fucking looking around? No, I'm talking to the Spider-Man pop right there, you turtle.
I know how much you love these pops.
But who would have thought I'd be sitting next to one of my closest friends, through meeting through YouTube,
Yeah, that's true.
It's about bringing people together, and that's what the hobby's about. And I think a lot of people in social media and the YouTube community and the collecting community lose sight about that. It's about bringing people together. That's the truth.
That's my favorite thing about this. It's not the toys. It's not collecting the stuff. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's the community. It's the people. Like, for example, tomorrow we're going on a hunt, and I'm already looking. I've been looking forward to that all week. I've had a long week. Been stressful, been busy, and I've been thinking, okay, Saturday, I'm gonna take the day off, go chill with my bud, go on a hunt, and just even if I don't buy anything, it's not about buying stuff. It's about just going out there and having a good time. But you guys, I mean, if you were to ever go on a hunt with us and see behind the scenes, all the goofing around, all the good times we have, that's what I enjoy. And the people, I love the community. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually making a documentary about collecting, and it's more about collectors because I want to show that to the world. Like, this community is just. I've been part of a few communities. Like, I used to be in a lowrider car club. That's how I met Humpty. If he's still in the chat. So I've been part of things before, but this community is so cool. Like, for example, Sentry, I've never met him once in person. We've talked on social media. He's planning on coming down on vacation to Naples. I live close to Naples. We're gonna definitely hang out. I owe him lunch. I know you're gonna chill with him.
Oh, hell yeah, we're all gonna chill.
To me, Sentry is a friend of mine. He's not some guy on social media. As much as we talk, he's a friend. I've met a lot of friends doing this. I've met I've met more people in the year and a half I've been a collector than I think I have my whole life. Honestly, like he said, me and him literally talk every day. Every day. We don't hang out because we make videos together. We actually like each other, even though it doesn't look like it sometimes. And if it wasn't for collecting, I would have never met. There's no way. There's no way I would have ever met him.
I mean, even in the chat, like we said, like Century, Century's been one of the biggest supporters of MCE, for forever. And, me and him message, almost all the time, and we talk back and forth. And, there's times where he's been talking to me and he's like, yeah, I've been looking for this figure. I can't find it. I'm like, oh, well, I got it. And I'm like, I'll just send it to you. And he's like, what do you mean you just send it to me? And I'm like, I'll just send it to you. I'm like, I don't care. I send shit to people all the time because, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have your heart ripped out, trying to find what you're looking for and you can never come across it. I sent Century a Red Hulk, Chunky Swole. Me and him have just hooked up recently, and he's an awesome dude. And me and him talk all the time. I sent him a Taskmaster pop, and just for the hell, just for the hell of it, it just, I don't care, dude. I send shit to people all the time just because I like doing that. I like to help people in the community. I know what it's like not to have a helping hand. I'm the type of person that doesn't like to ask for help, but I always enjoy helping other people because I always like to see the enjoyment that they get from whatever it is I sent them or however it is I help them, because not only is it making that person feel good, it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel like there's hope in the world,
Right.
This community is awesome. I've had way more good experiences than I have bad. I've seen a couple of people that have problems with other collectors here and there, but it's really rare, man. And I've never had an issue with anybody in this community. Honestly, it's just that's the reason I'm making this documentary. It's just to show that, because I'll be honest with you, before I started collecting, I thought that these people in this community were a little weird, right? Humpty was the first con I ever went to was with Humpty, and these Funko Pops were everywhere. And I remember telling him, like, who buys this shit? Like, why do people buy this? This was years ago. Yeah, this was years before I started collecting, honestly. I just didn't see the appeal. I didn't, and I'll go to the first con I ever went to with him. You see the people dressed up, and I'm like, I'm a grown ass man. What the hell am I gonna be wearing tights and shit? But then I got into this. I started meeting people, and then the more you get into this community, man, the more you fall in love with all of it. Not just the collecting, not just the toys, but the people, the cons. You just fall in love with every aspect of it, And now I'm at a point where I can't imagine my life without any of this. Yeah,
especially when we go to a con and we get hustled playing a stupid fucking rigged game.
We always get hustled. It's either a rigged game or it's a damn mystery boxes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Which we never hit in one mystery box.
Freaking mystery boxes, dude. I swear to God.
We go to, we're very intelligent. We're very good at what we do. We're very good at life. But we go to a con and we're just idiots. It's like a portal.
It's like the minute we step onto the floor of the con, it's like our intelligence just goes out the window.
When you were speaking about the community, for me, it's been a great experience, because I literally made my channel 2 months ago, and since then, I met a lot of great people that became close to me, like brothers of mine, and to me, it's still amazing, me experiencing all this and everything, like YouTube, for example. I've been watching your guys' videos for 2 years. I never thought in my life ever that I would get the chance to sit down with you two, interview you, and just chill and have a good time and everything. I'm just real happy, to be a part of this and everything.
That's the community. That's the community, man. I mean, I'll never say no to anybody.
Can I have that Iron Man hot toy?
Yes. I'll never say no to anybody because, people, again, I started somewhere, on YouTube, and 3 years later, yeah, I might have a nice subscriber base and I have a nice following and all that other stuff, but, the one thing that always gets me is that I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't have anybody that I could message and be like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about this? I had really nobody to bounce anything off of, and I did it all on my own. And I finally, eventually at some point, I did videos, and I would get the press that I thought it was a great video and I'd only get 200 views on it, and yeah, it gets a little discouraging, but you've got to press forward, especially if you like doing it. And, when I get people like yourself and other YouTubers that reach out to me and ask me to be on their channel, or they ask me, advice about what editing software I use, or, what equipment, I'm always make myself accessible to help people because I know what it was like not having that feeling, not having someone to be able to help me.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? Except the girl that wanted to exchange the BJ for the pop. Well, bro, I'm fucking married, dude. There's nothing I can do about that. You know, I love my wife. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, yeah, I get it, a mouth's a mouth, but still, I mean, you know, I don't. Did you hear that on Dr. All Might's podcast? Did you hear that story?
I heard of it. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, man. So I mean, you know, it's great. You know, again, I like helping out wherever I can. You know, you reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'd love to do an interview with you." Sure, I don't care how big or how small your channel is. I don't have an ego about that. I want to help you out. If by me coming on your channel gets you 5 or 6 subscribers, then you know what? More power to you. I'm glad I was able to help you. You know, that's the whole thing. I don't mind helping people out because, like I said, I know what it was like not to have that help. So anything I can do to help, always feel free to reach out to me. And that goes for you. That goes for anybody. You know, I do what I can when I can.
You've never been on a live stream on my channel.
Because you can't. You got shitty internet where you live.
I'm always surprised when anybody asks me to do anything. I'm like, well, Dr. All Might, when he wanted me on the podcast, I'm like, me? Like, I'm nobody. What the hell you want me for? So, yeah, man, I'm always going to, when you contacted me on Instagram, be like, yo, you want to do this? I'm like, sure, let's do it.
It made it even better when you were like, hey, I want to have both you and OG Geek on. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, let's do it.
No, like I mentioned, I seen your guys' video for a long time. Yeah. And I just love that you guys are close, you're brothers. I love the chemistry you guys have. Like, it's like, blood or not, you guys are brothers for life. And
there's no question about that. Yeah, we're bonded now. You know, there's no end if about that. We like to touch turtle dicks.
I don't know about that.
You can't edit this. It's live. Turtle dicks tonight.
See, I gotta stay part of this community now because my street cred is gone. I need to be accepted now.
Now, when it comes to your wives, your family, do they just go up to you and be like, "Your collection is insane. Just cut down." And like with your kids, like when you come home, like with a new Hot Toy or Mario Legends, whatever, do they go up to you and be like, "Is that for me?" And then you just go to them like, "Oh no, it's for me."
I'm gonna put this as clearly as I possibly can. Every time I come home from hanging out with him or hunting on my own or hanging out with whoever and going hunting and buying stuff, she looks me dead in the face every time I walk in the door, and she looks at me and with these exact words, she goes,
"I want a divorce."
If you come in this house and buy one more fucking thing, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw you out. Clearly it's all talk because I bring shit home every week. So, so clearly threatening me doesn't work. I think the next step is for her to actually take action. So one day I'm actually expecting to come home and the kids aren't there. She's gone. All the furniture's gone from the house. The only thing that's left is my toys.
Right.
So.
Oh, man.
My kids don't care about toys, man. They're into the electronic stuff like every other kid. They got tablets, they got PlayStations, Xboxes, they got cell phones. I mean, I started the Funkos because of them, and then they got bored of it, and I just kept going. And as far as my wife's concerned, I mean, she enjoys she enjoys the Disney stuff that I buy, like as far as Funko Pops and all that stuff. The rest of the stuff she doesn't care about. She doesn't give me a hard time though.
No, because she's a collector herself.
Yeah.
She collects everything. Yeah, she collects everything that Bath and Body Works puts out.
I did a story the other day on my yesterday, or the day before on my Instagram.
Yeah,
I was in a toy hunt, and I was right after the toy hunt, I took her to Bath and Body Works. She's got to know how to play the game. That's all it is, dude. Just keep her happy. I came out of the store with a bag full of stuff. She looks at me with that face. I'm like, let's go to Bath and Body Works, and she smiles. Life is good again.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
No, my wife, all joking aside, is the best. I love her to death. She allows me to do YouTube and, you know, do the thing, you know, because my wife likes to support me no matter what I do in life. And, you know, we've been together almost 20 years, you know, so it's like, you know, she is my rock and my world, and I love her, and I can't, you know, picture my life without her. And, you know, again, she all joking aside, she lets me go out, she lets me, you know, buy these things and enjoy myself and, you know, let me live my life, because, you know, we only get one shot at life, you know, and you know, the best thing we could do is just try to make the most of it while we got it.
I really thought you were going to say the best thing to do is to buy toys over here. Like, whoa.
No, yeah, like that's one of the things, you know. As long as, you know, you're paying the rent, you're paying the bills, you just go do you, and, like, you know, just buy yourself what you want to buy.
Oh yeah, man, that's one thing. I'm very financially. I wouldn't say very responsible.
You are very responsible because you hunt with me, and I constantly egg you on to buy stuff, and you stay firm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, me and my wife, we do spend a lot of money, but, you know, enjoying life, you know. But when it comes to, like, my toy collecting, my hobby, like, I try to, you know, control myself as much as I can, because there's a bunch of stuff that I want to get, and it doesn't mean I'm not gonna get it. It's just I'll get it eventually. It doesn't have
you're
to
gonna
be
get it
all at once. You know? So, like, that's one reason she doesn't give me a hard time about collecting. And like you said, as long as the bills are paid and everything's taken care of, you know.
The hunt we did in Tampa, his wife was actually with us through most of that hunt, and, you know, he would be coming out of the stores with, like, nothing in his hands, and then I would be coming out with, like, big bags, and she's like, "How does your wife not fucking kill you?" And I'm like, I said, honestly, she must like the fact that I give it to her really well. I don't know.
And then we went to Emerald City. I bought a hot toy, and right after that, where did we go?
We went to Bath and Body Works.
There you go. See, I got a hot toy. You get some candles. That is good. It's just balancing, bro.
True that. Now, this might be kind of tough, but how many figures, Funkos, Hot Toys, Marvel Legends, Black Series, how many figures do you think you have in total?
It's not that difficult to figure out. I know I have exactly less than 100 pops in my collection right now. The stuff that's left in my collection is the stuff that I'm holding on to, that I'm not gonna ever part with. As far as figures goes, I know I have exactly probably about 30 Hot Toys. I've got about maybe anywhere in the excess of maybe 150 to 200 Marvel Legends right now at the moment. So I'm pretty with it as far as what my count is.
I have no idea, man. I really don't even know what I have. Like, I was just thinking about this the other day. I have bins in my garage filled with stuff that's like maybe almost a year old. Because as I go collecting, if you see my videos, like, you see that when I first started, I started collecting Funko, and then I progressed to other things. But then even in that, like the Marvel Legends, I would change it. Like, okay, so I'll buy these Marvel Legends, I'll display them, but then I'll buy this wave, and now I don't have enough room to display them, so I'll move these Legends. Or like my Spawn figures. I have a lot of Spawn figures.
You do like the McFarlane figures quite a bit.
I have Spawn. I have a lot of movie McFarlane figures that I used to have displayed months ago, like 6-7 months ago. I took all that down. I did a display video. It's probably like a month or two old. Yeah. When I did that video, I took everything off. I put a lot of stuff away, and then I displayed the stuff that I really enjoy. So I got bins with stuff that I have no idea what's in it. I want to go through all that stuff soon in my garage. But I would have to say, like, I know pops. I'm at about 680 pops. Marvel Legends.
It's funny when you get to the point that you don't even know what's in your own collection anymore.
That's what happens when you don't sell shit. That's why I want to start selling stuff, because it's just in bins in a garage. What's the point of that? You know, it's just wasting away. Might as well get some money out of it. Buy some Hot Toys.
Hot Toys.
Man, I gotta say, if you include all my Legends, my McFarlane stuff, Black Series, I gotta have
Turtles.
Man, like 500 figures, I would say.
Yeah, he has quite the collection, my friend.
Yeah, and then Hot Toys, I only have 3.
And two out of the 3 were gifts from me.
Yeah. Christmas and birthday. He was gonna get me into Hot Toys one way or another. He's like,
I'm trying my damnedest to get him into Hot Toys, and he just won't budge.
But I have some other 6-scale figures. Like I have some DC stuff that I bought in Toylanta last year. It's been over a year since I bought those. Yeah, man, I have no idea. I would have to say 500 to 600 figures in total, 680 pops, and then I collect graded comics as well. I have about 20 now, graded comics, and not graded. I have a couple of hundred already, comic books. But that's about it, right?
Yeah, I would say that's about it.
Yeah.
Man, to me, your guys' collection makes mine look very small.
That doesn't matter though, because the truth is, if you watch my video, I don't have a lot of stuff displayed. I have less than 200 figures displayed. So let's say I have 500 to 600. Only 200 of those are actually that I'm enjoying. The rest of them are put away. You know, so it's like it doesn't. See, that's why I tell everybody, it's not how much stuff you got. It's what you enjoy. You know, buy what you like. And you know, like you could have 300 Hot Toys. If you don't have room to display 300 Hot Toys, then what's the point? You know, you can only see what you could display.
Right. Like for me, you know, I have 3 bins full of Funko Pops in my closet, and I have like 5 huge boxes of Transformer figures because, you know, I love Transformers myself, and I have a couple more Legends in the closet because I don't have the room to display it all here, and I'm like, I don't know, like I wish I had the room to display them all, but I don't. I hope one day I do, but for the time being, I got to put everything in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, you'll get there. You'll get there at one point, man. You just gotta keep pressing forward and believe. If you achieve, you believe, or if you believe, you achieve. However the saying is.
I think he just had a seizure.
Yeah, I did. Did you have a stroke?
Seth, big question.
Yeah, man.
What was the thing, the biggest thing that attracted to you to get these Hot Toys?
Honestly, I like statues, okay, but I don't like the price point of statues. I like the Hot Toys because it kind of gives me that statue feel to them. The statuesque feel to it, but they're also posable, and they come with interchanging parts, and you can really create. And I've seen people on other channels do this. Actually, another buddy of mine, Half-Fast Reviews, Craig, created a whole diorama of the Battle of New York from Avengers using all Hot Toys. And I mean, that's something, honestly, that I strive for eventually, that I can do at some point. You know, and I think that would be really cool. And the fact that you can create scenes with it, you can do awesome things with it, and you know, just the posability. What are you touching?
Which one is this?
That's War Machine.
I know that.
That's a Diamond Select.
Oh, I was about to say, it's kind of big.
I got that at Bits.
What she said.
I got that from Bits.
I'm sorry, I see toys and I get distracted.
Yeah. So, but squirrel. but yeah, man. I mean, it's like I like the Hot Toys. I think they're really cool. The accessories they come with, the posability. You know, it's Jesus Christ. It's like you dropping shit. It's
that
like
was a squirrel.
Yeah. I like it. I think they're really cool figures. I think you could do a lot of really awesome stuff with them. The fact that some of them even have light up features to them is really cool. You know, I think they're great. They're great collectibles. I happen to like them a lot. I mean, I'm a huge Captain America guy. That's my jam. Captain America. So I bought my first Captain America hot toy because I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy hot toys, but I'm only going to stick to Captain America's. Well, after I bought Captain America, then I'm like, shit, Iron Man looks really cool. So then I get an Iron Man. And then after that, you play with my Sugar Man. and then you play with my Sugar Man. And then, and then after that, I'm like, okay, Iron Man's cool. Let me see what other ones there are. And then, it just snowballs out of control. When you get the characters, that you like. And, and that's it. And then before you know it, you're 30 Hot Toys deep. You've spent X amount of thousands of dollars on Hot Toys. And, I'm on your channel talking about Hot Toys.
Yeah, like myself, my older brother, I don't know, I think he has like 20 Hot Toys himself. And like, I don't know, like to me, they look really cool, but like you said, the price is insane. And for myself, I would love to get at least one soon, hopefully this year.
Listen, the best advice I can give anybody when it comes to collecting is, my problem is that I just buy everything in sight. I'm an impulse. I'm an impulse buyer. That's my problem. If I had the discipline, like what Mike does, to say, hey, I'm going to collect this one line, and then when I finish it, I'm going to move on to the next one, we would be having a different discussion right now. But since I just buy something like the Hot Toy and I just love it so much, I'm like, if I see other ones, especially at really good price points, I'm going to buy it. I mean, like, the Gladiator Hulk Hot Toy, again, that I have for instance, going back to that, that thing sells for $700-800 on eBay. I found it on one of the buy sell trade groups on Facebook for $350.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to buy it for $350. You'd be stupid not to buy it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just one of those things. It's like a gift horse is just staring you in the mouth or the face, however the saying is.
You just sell these Hot Toys to yourself. He sees one for sale online. He's just selling it to himself however he can.
I need it. I want it. Okay, done. Sold. Let's do it. Wrap it up.
It's like, they're actually talking to you like you said with the Gladiator Hulk.
Yeah.
Seth.
Chunky's in the chat. He's saying rub it in, Seth, because me and him have already had that conversation about the Gladiator Hulk, and he's like, that's his end all piece for Hot Toys, is that he loves that Gladiator Hulk.
That's a dope piece.
It is a dope piece.
It's one of my favorite too.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, you had the chance to buy it when we were in Tampa. You just chose not to, and it was at a good price too.
I don't know.
See, he's like, remind me of that. It's a deep wound. I just cut that deep wound.
Now, with the first collectible that you guys ever bought, did you think, your entire house, your entire rooms will be filled with all these toys, collections, and everything?
I would say honestly not. Very simple answer. I never thought in a million years that I would have a room full of toys.
Me neither.
Yeah, especially at almost 40 years of age.
If you knew me a few years back, then you'll be laughing your ass off right now. But I bought that first pop. I just liked it. I'm like, oh, this is cool, whatever. I didn't think nothing of it. Then I said to myself, I wanted to complete it, so I wanted to find the rest of them for Married with Children. I did that, and then it just like, okay,
it's snowballed from there.
And here I am. But yeah, I never thought I would be collecting toys. I didn't play with toys as a kid. That's the funny thing. I
had rocks and sticks.
No, I had toys. I'm not saying my family didn't buy me toys, but I just wasn't really that kid that played with toys a lot. I'll be outside with my cousins doing something, getting into trouble somehow.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I played with toys, and I played video games, and all that other stuff. And then obviously, as I grew up, I played sports and stuff like that. But like I said, like at 40 years of age, I'm married. I have 2 kids. It's like, really, bro? It's like you're collecting toys.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It brings me buying these toys and displaying them and all that stuff. You know what it does? It takes me back to a point in my life where I have no worries. I can forget about all the bullshit going on in the world. I can forget about my bills and my mortgage and, family members and any other kind of drama that might be going on in my regular day-to-day life. And it helps me escape from the reality of things. And that's basically it in a nutshell.
Until you get home and then your wife gives you that look.
Yeah, and she's like, "You fucking asshole, what'd you come home with now?"
Oh man. Like myself, like that's one of the reasons why I collect too, like it takes me back to when I was a kid, like you said, I didn't have no worries or anything, and that's a good feeling, like I mentioned, I have like 5 boxes filled of Transformers, because Transformers to me as a kid was one of the biggest things in my childhood. And like every time I look at them or take them out, like to reorganize or whatever, it literally just takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah, like, it does. It takes you to a happy place.
That's how I feel about the Ninja Turtles, because that's the only cartoon I actually watched as a kid was Ninja Turtles. I mean, I watched a few other ones.
So you like Turtle Dick as a kid too?
Yes,
you
bro.
Sick bastard. You sick bastard. You sick son of a bitch.
That's why I'm obsessed. That's why one of my favorite things to collect is the Turtles, because of that. It takes me back to my childhood, Same thing with a few of the movies that I collect, like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, because I actually had those on VHS, and I would play them. When I was a kid, I would watch a movie, and it'll end, and I will watch it again. I was like that for some reason. So I watched Back to the Future, man, 100 times as a kid. So that's one of the Hot Toys that I want to get someday, I want to get the Back to the Future Hot Toys. I already have all of the NECA ones in pre-order. But that's the stuff that I think everybody's like that. The stuff that really touches you, the stuff that really like gets you in the feels, are the things that you remember from when you were like 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like myself, what was it? Last week I dropped the video where I bought a couple Power Ranger figures because I was I think the best way I put it, I was an obsessed freak with Power Rangers when I was a kid.
Oh, I'm not a Power Ranger too. I'm not a Power Ranger fan though, but I would get up in the Pink Ranger. I'm just saying. I'd show her my Megazord.
And
your Turtle Dick.
I'd give her my pterodactyl.
Give her your Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, give her my T-Rex.
Yep. Oh man, so it's when it comes to you guys going on a hunt. Let's see, where's the question? Is there any figures you regret not buying when you go on the hunt?
All the time. All the time. So before I started collecting Pops, before I even knew what they were, I would always recall passing them in the stores and GameStops and places like that. And I can't even tell you the amount of times, how many times I've passed the original Red Skull, how many times I passed Ghost Rider, how many times I passed the Rocky set, and now these are all Pops that are like in the hundreds of dollars. Exactly, Chunky. That's why I went back for Ant-Man. Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like I walk by and I remember passing all these Pops in the stores, and then later on down the road when I actually did start collecting them, and I'm like, shit, this thing's $300. I remember when I walked by it in the store and it was like $8.99. I'm like, and that's the problem actually that I'm running into now with a lot of the Marvel Legends, because I wanna try to get a lot of the older Build-A-Figure waves. Like the Juggernaut wave is a wave that I'm working on right now, the Build-A-Figure. The freaking Rogue is the most expensive figure in that collection. That Rogue goes for anywhere between $180 to $200. When it was what, not even $20 retail in the store? So yeah, I mean, we all have regrets when it comes to not passing on stuff that we didn't know what it was back then, and then now obviously we're being victimized, of the resale of it. I regret that every day of my life, man.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, same thing, man. Like he said, I think everybody. I'm sure you've done that. I mean, you've never seen, let's say, a pop that has gone up to like I don't know $100, and you've seen that pop in person. Like that's never happened to you. I mean, that's happened to me for sure. Figures as well, Marvel Legends. I can't think of one specifically now, but I remember not too long ago I was actually thinking to myself because I started now. I'm starting to finish up the X-Men Marvel Legends, so that's what I'm hunting for the most now. That and a lot of Black Series stuff. But there's this one character I don't remember which one it is, but I know I need it, and I remember looking it up online, and I'm like, damn, it's like $85. Like shit. And I remember seeing it like not even a year ago. I think at Walgreens for $20. It's like that sucks. I gotta pay $85 for it.
And that's the problem with Marvel Legends too, because a lot of these figures become peg warmers, as I like to call it, and then when you try to go back and actually get to build the figure from that wave, the figure that was once $20 is now quadrupled in price, and you're like, shit, I can't believe I just didn't buy it when I saw it.
Yeah, I feel that. Like myself, last week, I went to the gym, and after my workout, I went to my local comic book shop. They had, I think, like 8 Dr. Doom's Marvel Legends, and Dr. Doom is one of my all-time favorite villains from Marvel history, and I didn't grab it because I was like on the budget and everything, and I told myself that next time I see it, hopefully I'll grab it. So then yesterday I went to the gym again, and then afterwards I went to the comic book shop again, and they only have one left.
Huh?
One left, and I didn't grab it because I spent a lot of money earlier this week as well, and I feel the next time I go, it's not gonna be there anymore.
You know what? I'm gonna take it back, and I'm gonna give you a better answer. Yes, I could give you a specific figure that I regret leaving behind. You know which one it is?
Oh, what, the Winona Earp chase?
Yes. I regret that so much. Not because I wanted it, it's because this man has not left me alone about leaving that damn chase behind.
That
happened.
You never.
That was like 6 months ago. That was like 5 to 6 months ago already.
You never.
He still gives me shit about that every time. People still comment on all my videos the same thing because of him. Don't leave. Actually, they used to comment that. Now they only comment Turtle Dick because of you. Yeah. But if I could go back and pick up anything, it would be that Winona Earp, just so he could leave me alone about it.
You never leave a chase behind. You never leave a chase behind.
Oh, it just came to me.
But the etiquette and the etiquette behind that thought process is that even if you don't know who the character is, and even if you don't like the character, you still buy the chase because you can still trade up for something else that you might want, that someone else might have, that's looking for that chase. It's trade bait.
Yeah, but the way I saw it was like, you know what? I have no idea who this character is. I have no interest in it. I'm going to be a nice guy and leave it behind for someone to find a chase. I thought I was doing a nice thing, but God forbid.
I watch his video, and that's the first thing I see. I pause the video. I call him up. I'm like, bro, did you really leave that chase behind?
Oh, man, I've gotten so much shit from him for that.
Never leave a chase behind.
I know now. I know. I didn't know that was a rule. Now I know.
I never done that, I have never ever seen a chase. And myself, I have like 9 chases because I paid a little extra for it online.
Yeah. Listen, there's no greater feeling in the world than finding a chase in the wild and finding it for retail.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's so it's like finding, what the feeling is like? The feeling is like actually like walking in the wilderness and actually seeing a Bigfoot. It just doesn't happen that often. And when you come across it, it's so majestic and so mythical and so beautiful that it's like you're overwhelmed with excitement.
You really like chases, though. Now I know why you give me so much shit. Majestic.
It's like a unicorn.
Now, when it comes to YouTube, what was the biggest thing main inspiration for you guys to start a channel?
With me, it's pretty much simple. George, my
Fame and glory.
Yeah, my buddy George started the channel that me and him share, MCE, and his idea of MCE was supposed to be like a group of collectors come together, and we use the channel to post different videos. Like there was supposed to be a comic guy, a video game guy, a Funko guy, a statue guy. You know, it was supposed to be a good mix of people. It was supposed to be like a group of collectors. Well, unfortunately, that never came to fruition, and it wound up just being George. And George was doing George does statues. So me and George were talking one day because I know George for well over a decade, and we also work together too. So George was like, "Hey, you collect those Funko Pops? Would you be maybe interested in doing some videos on the channel for it?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, sure, like I felt really out of place in the beginning because I didn't know anything about filming or editing or any of that. I learned as I went, and and I didn't start out doing hunting videos. I actually started out just doing like talking about like upcoming Funko releases and just showing people like my mail calls or stuff that I picked up during the week, and that's how I started out. And then eventually a guy I used to speak to was like, "Bro," he's like, "the hunt videos are where it's at. That's what people like to see." So I'm like, "All right," I'm like, "I'll give it a shot." And I started doing hunt videos, and it wasn't until that first experience that I had with Target until that's when I got recognized and I became like credible, I guess, in the Funko community, because I'm not your typical YouTuber. I don't try to be clean cut. I don't try to be something I'm not. I curse, I swear, I'm foul mouth, I'm obscene. I say whatever the hell's on my mind, and without any regrets, and I don't hold back, because that is me. That is who I am as a person. I want to be real. I don't want to be portrayed as someone I'm not on YouTube. So people liked that genuine, that I was bringing to the videos. And then I started to get the recognition, the views started to come in, and I started doing more of the hunting videos, and the rest is basically history.
By the way, I just saw that comment that says, "I want to go sleep." They're not saying that we're boring them. That's actually my wife. She wants me to go home because she can't go to sleep until I get back because I don't have a way in. But I'm from Fort Myers, and we're staying in Miami. So I don't want you to feel bad about the comment. That's the reason I'm telling you.
No, you're good. No, and I was about to say, I think we're about to wrap this up already. So, Seth, Mike, I really appreciate you guys being on here.
Thanks for reaching out to us,
thanks
man.
for having us on, man.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure.
Taking time out of your night to do this with me on episode 14 of my TCI interview series, and really can't thank all of you. Thank you guys enough for being on here. It was really great getting to know you, and after watching your channels for 2 years and still going at it, and it's been a real honor just really sitting down with you guys, hanging out and talking and getting to know you more. Like I really love this and everything.
No, absolutely, man. Listen, I wish you all the best, on doing your channel and making it grow. And if there's anything that me and Mike can do to help in any way, shape, or form, trust me, we'll be more than glad to.
And I appreciate that, and I also appreciate every single one that tuned in, like Sentry, Chunky, King Dingaling, Humpty.
That's the best YouTube name ever, King Dingaling.
King Dingaling, look at me swing.
Christina, and your wife as well, Mike, and everyone who's gonna watch the replay after this. Really appreciate every single one of you so much. I can't thank all of you enough for the love, the support, It really means a lot to me. And this was episode 14. I can't believe we're at it, man. Episode 14 of my interview series. It's been an insane ride, and this was another awesome interview with What's Poppin', OG Geek. Make sure you check out their videos. They're all in the description below. Their channels, their Instagram. So make sure you go follow them as well. All that good stuff. And thank you all once again for tuning in.